Hey, welcome to the Now. I'm Ashley.
I'm Brian.
So there's a whole thing going around the video game review community at the moment.
Yes.
Dead Cells it's a roguelite Metroidvania game that's just come out. It just left early access on PC and launched on other platforms as well. So a bunch of new reviews have hit, in particular Nintendo Switch reviews. And something interesting was discovered, which is a YouTuber found that the IGN review read suspiciously similarly to his own review, which he had posted up on YouTube. So this has been, it's sort of been eventuating since yesterday.
Yeah.
Specifically, the YouTuber in question is Boomstick Gaming, and you should absolutely check out his channel. He's a growing YouTuber doing some great work with reviews.
Got a lot of followers today.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's up to 20,000. He went from 11,000 to 20,000.
Well, I think that's going to continue
as
well.
Yep.
So what happened is IGN has a new Nintendo editor. His name is Philip Mewson, and he is actually a former YouTuber as well.
That's right.
He ran a Nintendo YouTube channel that was quite popular, growing in popularity, really. He was quite an up-and-comer. Mm-hmm. And this is his first edited video review for IGN. And it looks like it might have been plagiarized.
Yeah, the YouTuber in question posted a video last night saying, "Hey, my review of Dead Cells pretty close to what IGN did," and he even broke out. He did a side-by-side comparison, read examples of both, and then in the comments kind of posted clips of every single one. I read the IGN article and then watch the original video that what's his name? Boomstick.
And not to be confused with Screw Attack's Boomstick. This is a different Boomstick.
Right. But I went and read the IGN article and watched the Boomstick video. There are a lot of similarities. I think it's much more than just coincidence.
Yeah, and let's be clear, with any review of the same video game, there will be a lot of probably similar points made across different publications, and there will be a lot of probably even like buzzwords and jargon that the videos or reviews have in common, simply because they're talking about the same product from from their own unique viewpoints, with their own unique judgment, but they're talking about kind of the same thing. This, though, goes beyond it. Yeah,
this goes beyond just cliches or terms like roguelike, roguelite, Metroidvania. You would expect to see that in the reviews. These are very specific phrases that appear in both, and even sentences. Some of the
entire review structure.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah. So a couple of quick examples, and we'll link to Boomstick's video in the description as well. In the description of his video, he does have a full list of examples with different time codes showing how word for word close a lot of the two reviews are. But here's one. So Boomstick said, Dead Cells takes the progression of a Metroidvania and integrates it into this procedurally generated action roguelite. Philip said, it takes the progression system of a Metroidvania and transforms it into a procedurally generated action roguelite. And so that's a case of very, very similar words. Boomstick says, Dead Cells figures out an intriguing way to have your roguelite and Metroidvania experience all in one by focusing on your failures and urging you to try something new the next time. Phillips said, Dead Cells strikes a perfect and engaging balance between the Metroidvania and roguelite experiences by focusing on your failures and encouraging you to experiment when you do fail.
Yeah.
And third example, Boomstick said, Dead Cells only falters slightly with some repetition settling in, especially on the early areas and during longer play sessions. Phillips said, Dead Cells does falter slightly with some repetition, but it's only felt in its earlier areas and during extended play sessions. So while, again, you would expect some similar thoughts across multiple reviews, these are getting very word for word similar.
And we should also point out, those aren't the only three.
No. Those are not the only three. There are several more.
Yeah,
there are a lot of longer ones as well. We didn't want to, fully read both of the reviews. I think you should check out Boomstick Gaming's review for his full review. But just as a couple quick, short little examples of the similarities between the two reviews.
And I think it's important to note too that these are reviews, not news items, not not a thing where a lot of times in news you'll give attribution. Hey, we saw this there, or somebody reported this. Reviews are something that generally I think you write yourself, and
typically that's the goal, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't. I don't know, attribute something to another reviewer. Although I definitely feel like he probably should have done so in this case. IGN has pulled Philip's both the print review and the video review, although it is still up on IGN Africa, I found. But they pulled it down. They said they're doing an investigation. We haven't heard anything from Philip yet. I think Boomstick said he had contacted IGN. I don't know if he had heard back yet. But,
I'm sure this will continue developing as well.
Yes,
we're recording this like just after noon, and there's a whole day yet to come. So there may be more statements from IGN. There may be more results to come out of this, like throughout the day and into the next few days as well. It may be that their investigation takes more than a single day. That happens sometimes.
Absolutely. And if you have to do a plagiarism review, and Philip is a staffer at IGN. He's not a freelancer. Like
no,
you said,
he has been hired on
staff,
as a Nintendo editor.
So they will probably go back to past writings, see if there's anything else that pops up. Although interestingly, in this case, his source material, or the Boomstick video that he was kind of going off of, no print version. So it makes it a little bit harder, unless Boomstick himself had noticed it, it might not have come to light, because he did have a small channel, and I think there was examples
growing now.
Yeah, I think Philip was trying to change just enough wording to where it
here's where I get a little bit confused. Obviously there's nothing that he could say that would be like, yeah, okay, that makes it totally okay.
Right.
But I'm just so curious what was happening in his head. This is his big thing for IGN. Reviews are a very, very big deal for IGN. They do millions of views, millions of visitors to the site, people wanting the IGN review of whatever game they're playing. So it's a big thing. It's a big opportunity. Also, why not just, play and review the game?
Yeah, I'm sure he got a copy of the game. He could have done all of this himself. I'm sure he knows enough about video games. I don't know why you would take so much from another review.
Playing the game is the fun part.
Yeah, isn't this the best part of being a video game journalist? I would think. And aren't reviews? Do they get the most traffic for sites like this? You would know this better than me.
Yes and no. It very much depends on the different games. It very much depends on what exactly is happening. But reviews are one of those things that theoretically are inherently unique to each publication. Right. Where news tends to be a little bit incestuous in that it does tend to go around, spread around everywhere, especially in the current era where things are typically they're announced via Twitter or something like that. Everyone is sort of quoting from the same sources.
Or a developer's website or forums.
Yeah, but this editorial content, reviews, things like that, those are one of the things that are inherently unique to each publication, and they're one of the things that are the most important to keep pure. If you recall, usually if there's like a really concerning scandal, it has to do with the ethics and the validity of reviews.
Giant Bomb.
That's how Giant Bomb was born.
Yes, absolutely.
And that was a whole huge thing. Yep. And that anytime something like that comes up, it's reviews need to be legitimate. They need to be authentic. They need to be siloed off from any sort of sponsored content. They need to be kept pure. And IGN, they typically have, or at least they did. When I was working there, full disclosure, I worked at IGN for 6 months, 5 or 6 years ago, and I wasn't an editor by any means. I was in the community department, but the the separation they had, like the salespeople could not talk to the reviews editors. They were not allowed to have conversations with them.
That's how, I mean, my background was in newspaper journalism another lifetime ago, same way. Advertising and editorial did not overlap because you didn't want pressure from advertisers to affect the editorials. But also, it does seem like game reviews are where so many personalities kind of launch. Like that's where people, like you said, people put their own voice into the review. It's where people, I remember like Greg Miller's reviews from IGN were so great. And it's when I start to notice people that I like it's where I maybe first notice them in games media.
Absolutely. It's where you say like this, I like the way this individual, I like their approach to games. I like the way they analyze them. I like the things that they have to say. Their taste is very similar to mine, and I trust these critiques they have.
Exactly.
Which is why when something like this happens, and again, pressure for scores and everything, that's a very different issue. It's just related to the purity of reviews.
Score aside, this is like a content issue. Yeah,
this is different, in potentially, and just as bad in some ways, because it's taking the sanctity of the review and you just copied someone else.
And also, people have made this point, but IGN is one of the biggest site. So for someone at IGN to take from a video with 11,000 subs is a pretty shitty move.
It really is.
That's kind of a bully move, and sort of treating smaller YouTubers as just content, as like a little content farm for them to come in and harvest, basically. But like that happens with jokes all the time. Jokes get stolen. There've been they
get reworded
in the stand-up
just
world.
enough.
Absolutely. Amy Schumer was accused a couple years back of stealing. There have been just countless. There's a long history in traditional journalism of plagiarism. Jason Blair at the New York Times got fired. This was probably 15 years ago, but he was just sort of stealing from other sources, AP from other feeds. And there's and in journalism, sort of traditional, we'll see what happens if IGN takes action against him or not. But in traditional journalism, if it's found out that you plagiarized, that's it. Like, you're gone.
Absolutely. And I would be surprised if they keep him on after this, simply because this is very damaging to IGN.
Yes.
And I want to be clear, I don't think that the higher ups at IGN knew that this was a case of plagiarism. Like you said, the original content was in video form.
Right.
This was a smaller, up-and-coming YouTuber that I don't think the folks at IGN necessarily had visibility on. They wouldn't have seen the Boomsticks review earlier or anything like that. I think that they looked over the copy and they said, this all checks out. That's fine. And so I think that they've responded the absolute correct way, which is just pull it down, get your investigation.
Yes.
But overall, this this guy, Philip Mewson, has damaged IGN's brand for reviews. And no matter what they do now, there's going to be a road to recovery, because it's going to be in people's minds that an IGN review was plagiarized.
You remember the movie Shattered Glass? Stephen Glass with the New Republic. A little bit different. He was just making up stories out of whole cloth, but it almost destroyed that magazine. And I don't think that'll happen here at IGN. I mean, they're so big, but I do think they need to move to protect their reputation, because it's a black eye for them no matter what. I agree with you. I don't think this necessarily points to anything more than an isolated incident. I don't think an editor's going to go around to everyone now, did you take this from some other site? Like, that's just not something they would ask.
Yeah, and look, I get not everyone has the highest opinion of IGN reviews. There's all kinds of, there's too many waters. All those jokes go around. I don't think it's the case of it being some sort of like coordinated effort. I do think there's just different editors have different nitpicks, or they'll give different franchises or different mechanics, different passes on different things, because they all are unique as well,
Right.
and which is why you see sometimes what seems like inconsistency between reviews. It's like, well, they were done by different people who have different approaches to games. So what I don't think is that the IGN editors as a whole and that IGN as an editorial publication wants anything to do with plagiarism.
No. I agree totally. I think that, and from a journalism perspective, I was thinking like, this is somebody who maybe he didn't have a chance to play the game and took a shortcut. We'll never know. But I don't think this is an editor's fault, because I don't think they're looking probably if he got edited, they're looking at content.
This editor's, but not necessarily.
It is, yeah.
Not his bosses.
But I also, I've been reading comments online mad at IGN. I'm not going to read IGN. I don't share that view, but I do see that this is a case of, it's definitely a black eye for them. I mean, it just is. It looks bad. I think maybe a nice way to make it up, they should post Boomstick's review. Maybe link to it.
Well, they kind of did.
Yeah, that's true. Cut him in on that revenue.
I will say, it is, first of all, if you get plagiarized, that sucks.
It sucks. Yes.
It's hard to try to find
Right.
the silver lining when something like that happens.
Yes.
If you are looking for a bright side Boomstick, on one hand, IGN thought that your words and your view on this were really great,
Yeah.
and the other thing being that because this has all come out, it means that this up-and-coming YouTube reviewer has a light shined on him that might not have been otherwise. And so,
Right.
well, I don't want to say, hey, but on the bright side, you got noticed. It does mean that more people may be able to now find this reviewer,
Yes.
especially if they were like, well, I liked the thoughts here.
Yeah.
Now they can go to the original source and go to him directly from now on.
I watched the review twice, once on IGN, once on his site. It's a good review. I think he makes good, well-informed points. He's clearly, I think he said in the description, he played like tons of, dozens, if not hundreds of hours of this game since early access. He's very well-versed. I think he deserves a larger shot in gaming journalism. Maybe he can, take this and spin something positive out of it, because yes, I think that while it does suck, hopefully something good can come out of it for him. And it is one of those things where the internet kind of helped police this a little bit. In the pre-internet world, pre-YouTube, he would have just been like, damn, that sucks.
Right.
I can complain to my friends about this, but no one else is,
Absolutely. I had people on Twitter sending me links to the video that he posted that was saying like, hey, so IGN just stole my review. What do I do?
Right. Right.
And that was able to be disseminated and to get out there because of the internet. So that's really great.
And it needed to get out there. I think it's good to hold bigger sites like IGN accountable when stuff like this happens. This is something that needed to come up, and it'll be up to IGN how to deal with the situation, obviously. But I think it's good, and he deserves some attention for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a good review.
It's a good review. He did a great job.
Yeah. So again, I don't think it was a concerted effort. I think that I don't know what Philip Mewson was doing, especially coming from YouTube.
Right.
I feel like he ought to have had more respect for other YouTube creators.
Yeah, this guy was
work.
him a year ago.
Right.
Less than a year ago. Like, dude, come on. Don't.
Yeah. So I'm extra annoyed.
Yeah.
Because it seems like he should have been one of the people who would like get it and
Right.
who would like get the sort of YouTube space and have more
Yes.
respect for it, because it's where he came from as well. So I think that that somehow makes it extra shitty.
Especially for, as you said, something as personal as a review.
Yeah.
That's coming from you. Yeah. Also, it just goes to show how important like your reputation is. and if that's gone or that's compromised, how do you come back from that?
Yeah, and this and Philip Newson's kind of fucked it up.
Right. That's what. Yeah.
Big time. Like, and he's new to.
Right.
I would call IGN the big leagues because they're absolutely enormous.
Absolutely.
And this was like his first big, video edited review that he was doing for them. He's been working for them since last October, but this was a whole big thing. And now, who would listen to a review from him again?
Right. He's going to read that in the comments forever after, somebody's going to bring up Dead Cells. And Dead Cells, it's not a AAA game, but it is the game that everyone's been paying attention to this week.
Absolutely.
It's been, I think, the one of the talks of the gaming world, certainly for this week.
Well, it's certainly torturing me because I'm so bad at it.
Me too.
That's maybe the subject for another video.
That's another video.
Yeah. Anyway, let us know if you've been following this, what you think, and leave all that in the comments down below. Also, like I said, we'll link to Boomstick's original review. You should absolutely check it out, especially if you're interested in Dead Cells, which is a great game, and he did a great review of it. So let's definitely make sure that credit the original guy.
Yeah, he deserves it. And I checked out some of his other videos, well-informed stuff. So I think it's worth a check out.
Yeah. All right, so let us know all that in the comments. We're going to be talking more about Dead Cells as well, hopefully in our own words. So if you want to check that out as well, make sure that you like this video, that you're subscribed to The Know, and if you go say what's up to Boomstick, tell him we sent you.